Boom, we are alive, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to try something out a little bit different. You're going to get like 2 videos today, both short though. First on the list is just some news and pontification. I got 2 ideas. Iran is placing its first crypto-funded import order. Now, over the years, we had talked about the potential for countries or nation states using Bitcoin. Now, one of the reasons why I think it's such a valuable asset and exchange medium is because generally one of the problems is countries don't really trust each other. One of the unique aspects about what this technology solved was that intermediary of trust. How do you trust someone who you don't normally want to or would transact with? Now, the SWIFT system had been used for a long time, yet it's not ultimately in effect the best modality for any one of its participants. So I'm just going to read here this is from Crypto Daily. It says .com, by the way. Iran has made its first official import order using cryptocurrencies, according to a report by Reuters. Not that I trust Reuters by any means. A move like this could enable the Islamic Republic to circumvent U.S. sanctions that have left its economy crippled. Now, first off, I'm neither pro nor against Iran and whatever it decides to do. This whole like, oh my God, they're all terrorists and everyone needs to be on a terrorist list that comes from that country. We did that to Russia. We banned them from using PayPal, from using GoDaddy. This is absurd in my opinion. I am pro free speech regardless of what it is. Now, this may not always pay my benefit because people may have something to say that contradicts, or maybe even something to do that contradicts what I think should be done. Now, this is a much deeper conversation though. Because I don't live in the United States, I don't live in Canada, and I have no allegiance to any of these patriotic flags, I'm only interested in freedom of speech or freedom of expression. Sometimes that may have things that you don't like involved within that scenario. I myself try to keep as far away from that as possible. But this idea that Russia or Iran or Iraq could trade with each other using Bitcoin instead of gold, instead of the ruble, is a much better system because the accountability of Bitcoin is within its code. So here it is. They ordered the order reported to be worth $10 million, which is basically chump change in global, I guess, closures of any settlement of any kind. $10 million is chump change. Was taking a first step towards allowing the country to trade via digital assets that bypass the dollar-denominated global financial system. I'm a big fan of that, you would all know, because I think that the dollar is basically a hegemony that in no way benefits me. Doesn't do anything positive for me. They can print out billions, give out billions of dollars in aid to fight inflation, and all they do is end up screwing over the little guy. There is no democracy left in the financial system as far as I can tell. So because of this, what's happened is that they were limited by U.S. trade embargoes, as Russia, as I had mentioned, and it's not been made clear which cryptocurrency transaction had been used at the time. The official Ministry of Industry wrote mine and trade on Twitter. So by the end of September, the use of cryptocurrencies and smart contracts will be widely used in foreign trade with these targeted countries. Again, I don't really care what Iran or Iraq or the Islamic State did. It's not in my prerogative to be pro or against these things. I'm strictly interested in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, even if that doesn't go along with what I believe to be the best route. I think that over time, those things kind of bring out the truth and allow things to be disinfected by that sunlight. So Iran has been subject to almost total economic embargoes from the United States, including a ban on all imports, including those from the country's oil, shipping, and banking sectors. Tehran, which is Iran's capital city, is one of the largest economies yet to embrace cryptocurrency technology. However, a study conducted last year found that 4.5% of Bitcoin mining transactions take place in Iran due to the country's cheap electricity. Cryptocurrency mining could help the country to earn hundreds of millions of dollars that can be used to mitigate the impact of U.S. trade sanctions. In 2019, the government legalized cryptocurrency mining in the country, and it is still strictly regulated, and it cracked down on some local miners, probably because they were stealing electricity. But earlier this week, European Union said it would push forward a final text to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear deal following 4 days of indirect talks between the US. So again, this gets into this idea of, hey, we're the United States and we're the UN and we're just the no be all end all of what good is. Our woke agenda is the only fucking agenda. And I am a strong proponent against this because this is where tyranny ends up evolving eventually, if not inevitably. So all these sanctions that were put on Iran, these hurt the average Iranian person. All these sanctions that we put on in Russia, they don't hurt Putin. The ruble is stronger than ever. Their ability to produce oil is better than ever because they get a more premium deal on what they're selling now because it's sought after. Everybody needs more energy. So all of these sanctions the United States has effectively put in place don't harm the people that they were intended to. They harm the average everyday person. So just a quick little update. What's your thoughts? Does Iran deserve its own free choice money? I think so. What about Russia? I think so as well. I'm not pro-Ukraine or pro-Russia. I don't really give up about either of these two stupid states because in the end, I believe they have all failed the public. They've failed the citizen. Whether it's Ukraine or whether it's Russia, United States or Iran, in my opinion, they've all failed their citizens. How they've done that or why they've done that, you could get into a long political argument, which I'm not here for. But these moves from nation states starting to use crypto is some of the things that I thought way back in the day when Bitcoin was at $200 would be the stepping stone to millions of dollars per Bitcoin. El Salvador's out there. You got multiple countries now out there adopting Bitcoin as potential legal tender. And if they start to close trade agreements between there, like if El Salvador starts to buy its oil from, let's say, Iran, or I don't know if Iran has a bunch of oil. I think so. I don't know. We have to double check. I'm just spitballing here, ladies and gentlemen. These are huge, huge deals because the US has held a total blockade on all financial transactions, for better or for worse. I'm not here to decide. Anyways, leave your thoughts, your comments, your questions down below. Let me know, what did I get wrong about this? And join me in the next video where we pontificate further about Tornado Cash and the OFAC sanctions.